Hey everyone, it's Coach Sybil Kears, and I'm just coming real quick to have this conversation with some people. Well, it's kind of a conversation, but I'll be the only one talking because I can't hear any feedback from you. But you are welcome to drop your comments below, and I will definitely respond. If you have any questions about anything I'm going to talk about, definitely drop a question in the comment section below, and I will do my best to respond accordingly. So, what I'm going to talk about today. Are you being beat by the banks or are you beating the banks? What are you talking about? Glad you asked. Listen, everybody knows or has noticed that there's been a price increase in almost every and anything that we need to purchase. Most talked about is the gas. Gas prices are high. Gas prices are going up. But food has gone up. Matter of fact, let me pull up some data. Right now, our inflation for shelter is up by 4.4%. Food is up 7%, especially stuff we buy for the home. New vehicles by 12.2%. Used trucks, 40.5%. I mean, I could go on and on, but just this year, we're only in March, we're only in the first quarter, and we have definitely experienced the hard crush of inflation. Okay, what is inflation? Inflation is the rate of increase in prices over a given period of time. Okay, many things can impact inflation. Okay, the thing I want to draw your attention to is not so much about what inflation is and all the technical terms. I'm just letting you know we're paying more money for things that we need on a day-to-day basis. Okay, your job didn't give you a raise based off cost of living. Retirees, your retirement system didn't give you a cost of living to accommodate for these increases. Okay, but you're expected to still make things work in your household with what you earn from your job or your self-employment or your business, whatever it is. Okay, now as a business owner, you may have to hike up your prices to accommodate for what it costs to get your supplies or get the products that you need for your supplies. Okay, the point I'm trying to make is everything is going up except for our income, right or wrong. There is nothing to accommodate us for the cost of the increase in cost. Why am I talking about that today? There are things, I call them financial vehicles. Okay, there are financial vehicles that some people in this world know about and are taking part in making sure they're invested with their finances in these financial vehicles so that they can beat inflation and not be beat by the banks. So today's topic that I really want to draw your attention to, I am not speaking against any banking institution. I use a banking institution. It's monumental in our transactions, our financial transactions, right? We need them to have our direct deposit so that we can have access to our monies from our employers. I am not bashing banks. They have a system and the system works. The only thing I want to draw your attention to is that it's only working for them. I can't be mad at them because they are a business. This is what they do. Okay. So some things that you as a consumer with this bank may not know, I want to talk about today. Number one, for every opened account, every time you open, any one of us opens an account, be it a checking or savings account with a bank and put our money in there, especially direct depositors, what we essentially are doing is we're giving that bank permission to use our money to loan out at 10 times more than what we have. Okay, so what does that mean? If you have $100 in your account, then you gave them permission to loan it out for $1,000, meaning that's how much money they're going to make off your money. That's one way that the banks make money. Okay, another thing, the savings account. Man, we've always been taught save your money for a rainy day. You never know when you might need it. I don't know about you, but I heard that more times than I really want to count, right? Save your money, save your money. And it is true. You have to save something. You should always have an emergency fund. But can we be real? When you're working what you're working, paying out what you're paying out with your month-to-month expenses, how much are you really able to save on average, especially if you're having kids and you got things you have to do, you're trying to keep them up with the extracurricular activities, they need clothes, they need this. I mean, honestly, how much can the average household actually save to where they have an emergency fund of at least $5,000 to $10,000? I'm not saying it's impossible, but with inflation being what it is, and your money being in savings, you will have to determine how much of it can I actually put in savings, or how much of it do I actually need now to make sure my household is still moving the way it needs to move, right? Listen, here's another thing I just want to throw at you. When you have your money in the bank, let's say you've been able to save up some money, you got a lump sum from somewhere, whatever it is, people are getting tax returns, maybe you decide to put that in your savings instead of blowing it on something that's going to be unimportant to you in 6 months. Whatever the reasoning is, maybe you have money in your savings account. You may not realize this, but having that money there is doing you an injustice. You say, why, Sybil? Because inflation rates is a lot higher than the interest rate that you're getting. The average bank, the average interest rate, the average APY that's going to be associated with any savings account is going to be 0.01%. 0.01%. That's pennies to the dollar. So essentially, if I had $10,000 in a bank account, at the end of the month, I would not have even earned $1 of interest off of that $10,000. I wouldn't. But how does that affect the value of that $10,000 of what it's worth to me when inflation strikes? Okay, let's say you wanted to, once upon a time, let's say a loaf of bread cost $1, right? A $10 that you would have to spend on loaves of bread meant that you could get 10 loaves of bread if the $10 covered it at $1 a loaf. You get 10 loaves. But inflation strikes. Now the loaves of bread are $2. Your $10 is now only able to purchase 5 loaves of bread. So what happens is when you keep your money in there earning pennies to the dollar, inflation is going up at a higher rate, your purchasing power of that money will decrease. You can no longer get 10 loaves. You are now only able to get 5. And if it goes up to $3, you're going to be able to buy less. If it goes up to $2.50, you only be able to get 4 loaves. If it goes up to $3, you get 3 and $1 back. My point in case is your purchasing power decreases as inflation increases, and whatever vessel you have your money stored in, if it's not matching that, you're losing money. Because now, if you are required to have 10 loaves of bread, don't you have to kick out more money to get it if it's at a higher cost than $1? So your purchasing power decreases. That's how you're losing. That's why you're losing. And that's why the banks are winning. Because here's the flip. Your $10,000 sitting in that account gave them the ability to loan it out at $100,000 or invest it in some type of a market like the foreign exchange market, stock market, whatever. And they're yielding a high return of anywhere from 7 to 12, 13%. And then they're going to come back after they made all this money off of your money and give you 2 or 3 cents. Not even a quarter, not even a whole 25 cents. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So because people are not aware of that, they don't do or make the best decision that's most advantageous for their household. There's a term I heard people use, scared money doesn't make money. This is true. We like, those of us that do have a savings account, we like to see our money when we log into our bank. Yeah, we like to see them numbers and zeros behind the commas, and we feel secure when we can see that money. But you're only seeing a virtual reality of what the bank says you have or what you are valued as. Okay. You don't touch a dollar bill when you log into that app. You see a number virtually stating in this account associated with your name and social security number has this dollar amount of value in it. Okay. But the truth of the reality is the actual funds are being invested in some other financial vehicle by the bank where they are gaining bukus of interest with your money. And then when they tally at the end of the month and they give you 1 cent, 2 cents, 17 cents, as if they're doing you a favor, we take that and say, okay, we got 10,017 cents now. Well, from that $10,000, they probably made, I can't even, depending on how they invested it through a loan or in the market, they made thousands of dollars. Okay. Thousands of dollars was made from your money. And then they gave you scraps, pennies. What can you match with inflation with 2 or 3 cents realistically? Okay. So this is why I wanted to have this discussion with you, because having a financial education, understanding how money works, is a vast and large topic. However, it is necessary for each one of us to take an interest in knowing what our dealings is with our own money. How are we using our own money and how is it benefiting us? At the end of the day, your choices and your decisions are going to be what you can live with. What are you doing with it? How are you spending your money? How are you saving your money? That's one part of it. Budgeting is another part of it. Having your credit repaired is another part of it. But the full gamut is understanding that where are you placing your money? Okay, when you buy goods, you remove money from you in exchange for an item, but now your money account has decreased. So did whatever you purchase add value to your financial asset, or was it a liability? Okay. Do you have more going out than you have coming in? If you are there, then you need to adjust that. You should never have more going out than what you got coming in. Okay. If you are in a place where you're kind of balanced, you got enough coming in, you're able to put a little aside for savings and still take care of your household, you're living a little more comfortably. Okay. Where are you having this money being saved? Is it being saved in a place that's only yielding you 0.01 or 0.02%? Or are you inquiring about what financial vehicle can you place this money so it can earn you 7, 8, 9%? Okay, in a compounding interest instead of a standard interest rate. These are things that people have to educate themselves for. And that's why Let's Talk Money was prompted for me to create. This is where I'm going to have these talks with people so that you can be educated and make the best decision for your financial portfolio. What are you doing with your money? Okay, are you letting the banks beat you? Or are you now going to spark your interest in learning how you can beat the banks? How do you beat the banks? You place your finances into a financial vehicle that will yield you a return on your investment based off compounding interest so that you can ultimately outdo inflation, outdo these things that are happening. You will be able to save up for your retirement faster. You will be able to have money to leave behind for your kids. These are things that people are doing every single day. And then there's a wealth of people that aren't. I want to help change that dialogue. I want to help change that from being someone's reality. And it only will start with sharing information, willing to be informed, being inquisitive, doing some research, and applying what you've learned. Okay. Now, based off this particular conversation, just based off this, it should spark something in you to say, wow, I probably need to learn more about this. Okay. I probably need to find out what is the APY on my bank? What kind of interest rate am I getting with my bank based off the type of accounts that I have? Okay. Even in a money market account, what is my interest rate? If you don't know, that would be your first step. Find that out. Okay. And then how do you calculate? How to calculate what your return on your investment is? Okay. Well, simple. There's a couple of ways. But once you find out what your interest rate is, Look at how much you have in your account, okay? And multiply that by that percentage. Then you have to multiply it by the number of days that your bank calculates its interest. So if it's monthly, then you will multiply it by 30. If it's weekly, daily, you need to determine that with your bank as well. So find out your interest rate and how often is the interest ran. Is it a compounding interest? Is it a monthly? Is it daily? Whatever. When you find that out, you would multiply that by that number. Okay. And that will tell you how much money they're going to pay you for having this amount of money, your money, in their banking establishment. All right. Now, if that is satisfiable to you, leave your money where it is. But I have been, one of my investments, I'm going to just talk about one of them. I had a certain amount in there. And in 2 months, I almost doubled that amount. Almost doubled it, earning anywhere between 7 and 9% interest, not behind the decimal, but in front of, okay? 7.03% was my percentage just from last week. And I can tell you, the banks will never match that. That would be taking too much out of their mouth trying to feed you. They're not going to do that. So it's our responsibility to not allow them to beat us, but instead find our own way to beat them. So while my money is growing astronomically, had I left it in my savings account, I would have been looking forward to 17%, 17 cents, 36 cents. I mean, it's really not helping me. And I can't tell you how long it would have been for me to even get to 30 something cents. That wouldn't have been just 1 month. Okay. My whole point in case is that, do you rather settle for coins, change, or do you want your money to yield you more dollars? Knowing that there is another way is a start. Looking into which way works for you is the second step. Knowing where you already are and where you want to be, you apply what you've learned so you can get there. But I promise you, you'll never get wealthy simply having your money in a savings account, letting that interest work for you. You will have to investigate what other type of financial vehicles could this money serve a purpose. You're going to have to willfully know that that money will no longer be looked at in your account, but when it's in that other vehicle, that you will watch it grow a lot quicker. You will see your money grow. If you're looking for a financial vehicle, some things to think about. How soon will you need to access your money? Some investments may require you to have it in there for a period of time, 6 months, a year. Some investments don't. Some people invest in real estate. Well, you're going to have to know the parameters of real estate investing and what does that mean to you. Some people do land banking. Some people invest in IULs, which is an index universal life, which puts you in a position to become your own bank. And I'll do a whole nother video about what that is, because that is also one of my financial vehicles, and I'm licensed in that arena to also help other families and individuals take advantage of that. But yeah, that is a financial vehicle that will take your money and over a course, a period of time, will put you in position to be your own bank and leave a legacy to your kids and their kids and so on and so forth. Okay. There's so many different things that we can put our money in, but scared money is going to make you only get pennies. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be scared and stay broke at the same time. I would be scared to stay broke, right? But anyway, hopefully this video was informative. I will continue to try to post content of this nature in this group because I feel it'll be beneficial. Some days I'll go live, some days it'll be pre-recorded, but the information is there. All you got to do is be willing to look at it, learn it, hear it, write it down, investigate it, and apply it to the best of your ability to better your financial situation. Okay. Thank you for tuning in with Let's Talk Money. I look forward to having more time with you. Again, any questions or comments, drop them below. And I definitely would appreciate anyone who thinks that their family member, loved one, or friends could benefit from what I will be posting in this group. Feel free to join, add them, or ask them to join. Okay. We'd love to have this information get out there. But nonetheless, those of you who took the time to watch this, I bid you a farewell. Make sure you let me know you were here. Comment below, okay? I'm Coach Sybil Kears, and I wish you much love and success. God bless.